Welcome to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. It's your Friday edition, and today
TGIF.
Also Friday, yeah, but it's World Environment Day.
Yes,
How
it's
cool is that?
all about the planet. And speaking of, the planet's been recovering, I would say, since the coronavirus, since COVID-19. You know, cars not on the road as much. Although I must admit, on the road this week, there are quite a few more cars.
Yeah, since phase one has kicked in, we have had a darn sight more cars on the road. So
Suddenly there was a traffic jam.
Ease up, guys. I'm not used to this traffic jam thing. But it's very interesting to see how over the course of about 2 months, Singapore has had an opportunity to heal a little bit more. Our skies are bluer, the sunsets are amazing, the air is cleaner, like it just looks
You can feel
so
it.
good out there.
Yeah.
So let's not mess this up, guys.
Yes. Yes.
I'm enjoying this.
The planet has a chance to heal. Let's just kind of keep it that way and treat her a little bit nicer, I think.
Okay, so because it's World Environment Day, what have we got in store, Barbara?
We've got two fabulous guests coming on, both advocates of being friendly to the earth and Mother Nature. We've got Steph Dickinson.
Yeah, Dickson.
Dickson, because I keep watching Emily Dickinson on TV, and I keep thinking Dickinson. Steph Dickson from Green is the New Black is coming to join us. We've also got Paul Foster coming on.
That's right, Mr. Environment himself is going to be joining us on the show. We saw him on the morning show. We're getting him back in because we just couldn't think of anyone who's a better champion for recycling, for reducing, for reusing as well. So he's going to be joining us in, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with the two of them today.
But before we bring Steph on, as always, we've got some of the best giveaways just for you. Now, given that Green is the New Black is in here with us today, and they've got their virtual festival happening.
Right, the Virtually Conscious Festival.
Getting all mixed up in there. That's happening next weekend. So obviously it's not a physical event anymore. It is a virtual festival that's going to be happening. Absolutely fantastic. They've got everything happening in there. We will be talking a little bit about it later on with Steph, but she is giving away tickets for you. So all you need to do for today's giveaway, as usual, we want you to like and follow the Facebook page of Get Active TV and share Kickback with Kelly and Barbara onto your page. But comment with us. What is the one thing that you've done or one step that you've taken to be a little bit kinder to the environment and just be nice?
And so bringing on our first guest for today, Stephanie Dickson, founder as well as editor-in-chief of Green is the New Black. Stephanie, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing?
Good. Yes, good. Excited to be here.
I was going to say, phase one in full effect. How are you coping with life resuming?
Well, it's nice to see other humans outside of my fiance, so that's a win I'm happy about today.
So tell us a little bit about Green is the New Black. How did it start? Why did it start? How did it blow up?
So I actually used to work in the fashion industry. I used to run fashion festivals around Asia, and I really thought that was my dream job. I always wanted to work in fashion, but at some point, I started realizing that actually fashion was a very polluting industry, a very socially corrupt industry, and I actually felt really blindsided and naive that I didn't know all this stuff was going on behind this, glamorous curtain that fashion kind of puts out. And so I had a little bit of an awakening moment, sort of, alluding to the Matrix. I'm a big Matrix fan, so that kind of red pill, blue pill.
Is this hence the get up as well? It's
actually no, but maybe a little inspired. And yeah, I just basically had to decide: am I going to continue going down this path that I've always been on, or am I going to change things up and actually be part of the solution instead of the problem? And that's originally what got me thinking about how to do things differently and started Green is the New Black.
And there are so many aspects to Green is the New Black. I mean, if you pop onto the website, you've got travel, you've got fashion, you've got wellness, you've got beauty, all these different aspects. But of course, the key thing is the Conscious Festival that you guys have been doing over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's in Singapore, it's in Hong Kong. You're supposed to go to London this year.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about what the festival actually encompasses and what people find there.
Yeah, so we started with the festivals. That's originally what we did, and then we went into the media side of things, which is the website that you've seen. But yeah, the festival really brings together people, and it's really about allowing us to realize sustainability is a journey. And we're really of the mindset of progress over perfection. So it's really about this idea of coming together, learning, sharing, and doing that in multiple different ways. So we have a series of talks that we run where we bring experts from around the world. And now that we've gone virtual, we've actually been able to expand and have so many different speakers from around the world.
I was going to say, technically, you don't have to fly people in anymore.
It suddenly becomes a lot more sustainable to actually hold it this way. So this pivot to virtual obviously it's become a need, right? It's no longer a, yes, this should be a good idea. It's actually become something that you have to do currently. Is it working for you? Because there are some people who have gone, we don't know what to do. How do we manage this? And how do we still bring awareness and reach out to the same number of people and make sure that we're not just forking this out of our own pockets? It's got to be sustainable as well financially.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really interesting process. I think our team has been amazing. They were completely excited about the transition and being able to innovate. And I guess we're all really grateful to have something to focus on during the circuit breaker and the quarantine, that we can actually, still make some impact and do something that we believe in. So I think that was really good. We had to pivot very quickly, do a lot of research about platforms. And yeah, we've just been really grateful for obviously the team turning it around really quickly, but also all the support that we've had from different communities around the world and people helping us to make it possible. So yeah, we have all the speakers, and then we have an expo of amazing conscious brands, again from Europe and Asia, and helping them to showcase all the good work that they're doing. A lot of them are social enterprises and really tackling some of the biggest issues that we face today.
So quickly, just before we go to a break, obviously when we go to these festivals, regardless of the theme, it's always, there are booths and stalls that people can go and browse, and then you have the talks happening on one side and stuff like that. So what are the mechanics behind, how have you guys managed to make it virtual?
Yeah, so we found this amazing platform called Hopin, and you basically hop in and out of all these different sections within one platform. So it's not even close to being like a Zoom conference or anything like that, or the live stream that you see. There's so much, yes, everyone's like zoomed out. But there's all this engagement. So there's live networking that you can literally be connected to people, all the attendees around the world. There's like live chats that you can get involved in all the different segments. There's the talk stage, there's a whole workshop room, and then there's all the different expos, and you can go and actually interact also with the vendors via video or chat. So a lot more exploration, which I'm really excited about.
Well, I think just very, very quickly, just because I really find this very, very fascinating, it's sort of, you've actually been able to increase the number of people who will potentially be able to attend your event simply because now you don't have to be in London, in Singapore, in Hong Kong. This is now a global thing for you.
Yeah, which is very exciting, but also it's about reaching the right audiences who can come together and also take on this idea of little green steps with us.
Awesome.
Jinx.
It's a sister thing. Well, we also want to say thank you for sponsoring the tickets to be given away. Make sure you drop us a comment and tell us what is the one step that you have taken to be a little bit more kinder to the environment.
What's your one step that you've taken to be kinder to the environment, Steph?
Which one? I am constantly on taking new steps. So right now, the one that I'm really excited about that I'm going to be doing at the festival is understanding how my money is connected to sustainability. So this is a whole nother piece for me, and I've got an amazing friend who's doing a workshop on this and who's going to be launching a movement about My Money, My Planet, and so that we can deeply understand that the money that we have in our pension funds or in our banks is actually connected to sustainability. So that's my next big one that I'm focusing on, that I'm going to be doing at the festival.
That's awesome.
I think we need to go and attend this just so I can hear more. That sounds fantastic. Okay, we're going to pop off for a
Maybe we'll comment.
Yeah.
You better.
Pop off for a short break, but when we return, we're going to bring on Mr. Environment here in Singapore himself, Mr. Paul Foster, to join in the conversation on sustainability and how we can keep doing good things for our planet to keep it healing. Don't go away. This is Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
I love how this rush gear makes me feel. Every time I put it on, I feel super powerful. My training is super intense, so I need something like this that's gonna make me feel strong and ready to go.
Did you know that plastics in our ocean continue to grow? And if we don't change now, plastics will outweigh our fish entirely by 2050. It's time to limit single-use plastics and to clean our waters. Let me show you what we do here in Singapore. Plastic pollution has become a global crisis. Every year, on average, 8 million tons of plastic enters our oceans. Even though we clean hotspots like this here in Singapore every day, the trash just keeps coming in.
Welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, although I've really actually kicked Barbara off the show and replaced her with Paul Foster.
Hey,
welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice. It's always good to have you on the
Yes,
set.
yes.
Actor, host, model. Is there anything you don't do? Environment advocate. I mean, how did all your green living start?
I've always had a passion for nature, for animals, and growing up, that's what I do. I would rescue a bird that's fallen out of a nest, or take home a stray dog or a stray cat. And as we've grown up over time, we've seen the impact of us humans on the environment. And I think it's a lot more with consumerism and industrialization. So when I got a little bit more educated a few years back, I realized, oh wow, we have to start doing a little bit more. And starting to help with not just creating the awareness and teaching people and educating people what we can do, like what Steph does with Green is New Black. I mean, she's been doing this for way longer than I have. But it was just a natural transition for me to be like, okay, I want to help Mother Nature. I want to help make things better, because obviously we're at a tipping point where the world now is suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, your little video that we played out just now.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that. I mean, obviously Singapore is hurting, but we have had a chance to sort of regain a little bit of sense of control over that over this circuit breaker period, which I think was sort of like a happy bonus of everyone staying at home.
I think so, and not just Singapore. I think the world in general. I mean, pollution levels are down, skies are bluer, water is cleaner. The animals have been coming out and coming into their natural spaces where we've kind of encroached onto. But there is also a little bit of a dark side. I was having a chat with Stephanie off set earlier, and even though the world is cleaning, I mean, for example, there's one thing that always hurts us where we've seen the plastic consumption with, for example, takeaways and deliveries. So single-use plastics have obviously increased a lot, and more often than not, you see that a lot of that stuff gets thrown into the trash, which is unfortunate because, if you clean those up properly, they can be recycled.
That's true.
Yes, so I think that's one thing that I've been trying to advocate a lot more in Singapore in particular. Trying to get our recycling rate up to tell people that, we should be recycling all our plastics, our metals, our glass, our paper where possible. You're right, Singapore, we have a great system here. The government, we've got infrastructure and the government policies that allow us to do all this. But I think sometimes people just take it for granted and not bother to do that.
Yes, and I guess that's where things like your Conscious Festival comes into play as well. Just sort of like that mass education of people of how they can do better and do more for the environment, right?
Absolutely, and I think now there are some great solutions that are being piloted, but they're not mass yet. So I don't know if you've heard of the companies Bearpack or Amuse, but we're actually doing a partnership with Bearpack and Food Panda next weekend for guests to be able to order from select restaurants and have it delivered in reusable containers, which is so exciting because if we can solve that issue and have this more circular economy, it's going to be game-changing for exactly what we were talking about, all the plastic waste.
Yes.
Was it you that posted about Salad Stop and how they basically got reusable, the collapsible containers,
bowl
right?
container,
So it's interesting to see that different brands are coming up with different ways in which we can get access to reusable containers. And I think the huge conception out there is that it's expensive. You look at what's available, like being green is not cheap. I mean, there are brands out there like Pico Bags, for example. $15 will get you a really nice reusable bag.
That's right.
But when you're going out there and you're looking at all these containers, I mean, yes, you're going to be using them very often and very regularly if you remember to bring them out, but it's also something that's quite expensive. It's not a cheap thing to suddenly say, oh yeah, I'm going to shell out $40 for a box, which I'll bring around and have to lug about for the entire day, as opposed to something that cost me 20 cents extra in a tapao container, which I will likely just throw afterwards and don't have to lug around.
I think that has to be that kind of mindset and lifestyle change people have to make. They have to just, and again, everyone's on their own path. Everyone's on their own journey to learn the little green steps.
Yeah.
You know, you can't fault anyone for not being more sustainable than, you know, or less sustainable than someone else. We always say you can't be 100%, you know, but maybe everyone gets closer to that mark, the better, you know, the world will be. And I think people just need to take that step. Just do it and say, okay, I'll invest now, and this for the long run is just good. Tell you what, you'll sleep better at night.
Oh, that's true. So I'd hosted this thing for Rolex, which was their Perpetual Planet whole convention, and they basically had researchers from all over the world come in, Dr. Earl as well, who was talking about hope spots and how we've now got hope spots off Singapore, and it's basically her saying that in 10 years, if we don't do something now, in 10 years, that's it, game over.
Yeah.
We are at the point of no return. So in the next 10 years, what do you guys want to see change?
I think that people just need to realize that we have a moment in time to turn this around, and it doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be difficult. Like, you can just use what you have in your home. You can just start reducing. You can just look at figuring out, I think the very first thing is like, what are you actually passionate about enough to change something? And once you do, you get this positive reinforcement, because as Paul said, you feel good about it. You actually sleep better, and there's this amazing lifestyle shift. And I think that what I really want to see is everybody actually working together and collaborating, and actually, you know, not shaming and not, you know, creating this negativity or you know, all these kind of things around it, but working strongly together. And that's companies, governments, and individuals. Like, we have to work together to change this, and it needs to be very fast, and there are power in numbers.
Yeah, I have to agree with Steph. I mean, yeah, shaming's a big thing, I have to admit, because it's easy. People tend to go down that route, and I don't think people should. I think we should celebrate and embrace all the little things that people are doing, and it's all about balance, you know, especially now. I'd like to see in the next 10 years, though, that we kind of go back in time, you know, like start to use more glass, you know, start to really limit single-use plastics. That's my big war I'm going on, and just kind of reverting back to the non-convenience era.
Yep.
If that makes any sense, and cutting down what we're really discarding and putting out, you know, into nature, and hopefully that will, again, you've seen the last 2 months how the world has regenerated.
It's only taken 2 months for us to see bluer skies, cleaner air, cleaner water. And I think there are also so many misconceptions out there as well about what is right, what is wrong about recycling. And I figured that who better than to get our two fantastic advocates to play a little game with us and have a little true or false to see how much they know about recycling, reducing, and reusing. Okay, so
this is recycling in Singapore, right? Because it's different in every country. So I'm gonna,
Yes. Okay. Yes. I like that you're caveating this. Okay. So who wants? I had to find whatever we had in the house. Okay. I'll go out and shop yet. Who wants the little clapper and who wants the moose?
Ladies first. I'll let you choose. Steph.
I'll have the moose.
You'll have the moose. Okay. So the squeaky bit's just on the side. It is a pet toy.
Thank you.
But no pet has used it. Okay. So it's fastest fingers first on this little true or false with Paul Foster and Stephanie Dickson. So yeah, you got to squeak or shake, rattle, and roll to give your answer. Okay, so first question. Most things at recycling plants end up at landfills anyway. Paul.
In Singapore, huh?
You can't squeak and then think about it.
False.
Absolutely correct. Well done. 1 point to Paul. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Because it is different. It's true. I like the caveat you made. It is different around the world.
It is different. Recycling is better than reusing. Oh, go on.
False.
Absolutely correct. Recycling actually uses more energy, so if we can put our things to good use a second time, a third time, a fourth time, it is obviously the life cycle. There we go. Third question, so it's evens at the moment. As an individual, there is little you can do to reduce the amount of waste generated.
False.
Absolutely correct. We're just putting it out there. Okay, the 3 R's are reduce, reuse, and replenish.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
So it's
False.
Sorry.
Yes.
but bonus points. Okay, rechargeable batteries are better than using fresh ones.
False.
Wrong. Wrong. It's true.
It's
Of
like
course it's better.
every answer has been false so far, so I was like, maybe she's sticking to the false.
Rechargeable batteries are better than using fresh ones because obviously we're reducing and we're reusing.
Using.
Okay, recycling always saves energy. True or false?
False.
Correct. Reducing, reusing, and recycling can save communities money.
Wait, I missed the question.
True.
Correct.
I'm taking that.
Taking
I'm taking that.
advantage. Old corrugated boxes cannot be recycled. True or false?
Old what boxes?
Corrugated boxes.
What's a corrugated box?
You know, the little wiggly bits, basically cardboard boxes.
Can't be. False.
Correct.
Yeah.
Trick question. You're
Yeah.
just like,
I'm like,
oh, I'm not sure. Okay, next question. It is possible to recycle 100% of paper we use. True or false?
False.
False is absolutely correct because of contamination,
That's a
fiber
tricky one.
degradation, and all of that. I think it's very important that when you recycle, then you need to make sure that you are cleaning out the products before you chuck them out
Yes.
to recycle.
Massive. 30%.
30%. Wow, goodness me. Okay, Steph, you're leading with 5 points at the moment. Paul, you got some catching up to do. You're in on 3. Okay, next question. Wood fibers can be recycled indefinitely. True or false?
true.
False.
I did this. True.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
It can be done 5 to 7 times before they become too short and too worn out to be recycled.
Nice one.
Second last question. The arrows in the recycling loop represent a different step in the recycling process. True or false?
False. False.
It is true. Each of the arrows. Reduce,
tricky.
reuse, recycle. Okay.
Oh, I
okay,
thought,
that makes
right,
sense. I didn't
okay.
know that.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning stuff too.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
that's
yes.
Okay.
Always happy to learn.
And this one's interesting. Gold is sometimes recovered from recycling old computers. True or false?
True.
True is absolutely correct, and that means that Steph, you walk away as a winner of this challenge. True or false? You clearly know your stuff. Stephanie, 6. Paul, 3.
And 3 with the 2 wrongs? Yeah. So
If I was
-1.
deducting
Yeah.
points, like you'd be
Minus-
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
My math
But
sucks
it
too.
just goes to show that we have so much that we can still learn about reducing, reusing, and recycling. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here today on Kickback with Kelly Latimer
you.
and Barbara Latimer. Paul, you're not going anywhere. We're going to do a workout
We
and
are.
we're going to be using whatever props you may have at home. Stay tuned for that. We're going to go for a short break. Stick with us here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
Day after day, fire crews brave
India
the
is
front line.
choking the young and old alike, the world's most polluted major
The
city.
devastating effects of El Nino.
I'm done with fossil fuels. They're done.
Welcome to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
We're
In this
changed.
segment,
We're ready.
We are good to go. Paul Foster leading us through a workout. If you are at home with nothing to do, then join us for this absolute killer burnout. Let's go, Paul.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick hit session today. It's only going to be 3 exercises. You're going to work for 45 seconds and then 15 seconds rest. And I wanted to incorporate some luggage.
Because we're not doing anything with it anyway.
We're not traveling, so it's like just to get a feel of what it's like to, so you remember how you're lugging your luggage around.
Carry luggage around.
Exactly. So this is going to be called the carry-on workout because we've got our carry-on luggage.
Okay.
And we're going to do the 3 exercises, so I can just tell you as we go along in the 15-second transitions.
Sounds good.
Are you girls ready?
We're ready.
Good to go.
Okay, so the first one's going to be a squat press.
Okay.
So we've got 10 seconds to 5 seconds to come in on this.
Yep.
Are we ready? So squat press, yep.
Yep.
And go.
Oh, there was a whistle.
That's it.
I have actually set my watch to do this. So
Guys, this is not a competition on speed. Y'all know that, right?
So-
we're not aiming for max reps here.
synchronized squat pressing.
3 exercises are more for the legs because if you want to get a real burnout, it's using your legs. And the whole point of doing a HIIT session is to really get that cardio burn going so you can burn those calories.
And the real test is Paul explaining and talking
At the same time.
doing the whole thing.
This is why we get our guests to do the workouts.
Yes.
Not
Now,
us.
I mean, you should be feeling that burn in your legs.
I'm feeling it in my
Breath.
suitcase.
Okay. So that's 15 seconds rest now, and then we're going to move into these curtsy lunges. So I want you to hug your suitcase as such, and then you're going to be stepping back like a curtsy. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Let's do the synchronized.
And
Down.
I might
This is a
have
good
missed
one.
the transition rest here, so I'm going to count this one. That's 15 seconds coming up. And if you want to increase this, you can do a little hop, hop,
yeah, ain't nobody doing no hopping right now.
to amplify it.
Trying to sink. Oh, no, wrong side.
Okay, 15 seconds left to go because I'm counting this one. And then we're going to go on to our last exercise.
We are all over the place.
Synchronization. What?
And time. Okay, last one's going to be the full burnout now, which is a squat jump.
Burn.
Okay.
I did some of these the other day. Couldn't walk for 3
Oh
days.
no. Okay. And if you're ready, let's go. You can hold the suitcase any way you want. Yeah. Oh.
Barbara is basically using this as a stall tactic. I see what you're doing.
Oh man. Keep going. 30 seconds. Okay, I can't feel my legs.
Keep going, keep going. How much longer do we have, Paul? Who
coming
put
up to the
45 seconds to these?
15 seconds left.
Paul, I think we should stop because of your knee.
And I've been doing a lot of these to get my knee stronger.
Make sure you're okay.
5 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
You know, like after you're done with big weights and you slam them on the ground? Don't worry,
That,
I won't do that to
that
you.
was just 3 exercises, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and you can tell how we're already tired. The
My
beautiful
heart
thing
rate is
is,
sitting at a casual 145.
and the beautiful thing is you can do this 2 times, 3 times, so you can increase the timing of the exercise. If you want to make a nice 10-minute workout, 3 rounds,
Fabulous.
and you can increase the weight as well in your suitcase.
You know what? I think we're good. And with that, thank you very much, Paul Foster, for joining us on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
Air high fives. We'll see you next week.
Woo.